So it has happened. We have got Vinicius Jr. as a player of the month. We also had Saka today, also with a big hefty price. So I'm expecting Vinny to be pretty much on the nose. 14 SBCs to complete. Let's have a look. So we start off with an 85 with a team of the week. We then have an 86. 86 with a team of the week. Another 86. 87, 87, 87. 87, 87 with a team of the week. And then 4 88s. Wow, that's... If you need coins in FC25, lootbar.gg has you covered. They are the cheapest trading platform on the game. From the 28th of November to the 2nd of December, if you buy coins and use the code JT11 at checkout, there is a chance that you could get a 10% coupon during this time to use on your next order. With the fastest delivery system going, used by many FC25 creators such as Zorky, Manny Plus, and even pro owners. So if you need any coins, head over to lootbar.gg, make sure JT11's in the promo code, and hopefully you enjoy. That's expensive. I'm expecting it, to be honest. Vinny is one of them players that, to be honest, is probably worth it, to be fair. We say the same with Mbappe every year. Vinicius is kind of on that same level. I must admit, it's definitely not as important this year, I find. I'm finding that there's a lot more medium to high players that are doing really well, and it's not as if you've got a major difference. Now, another factor to this is there is a lot of good players coming out during the Thunderstruck. So, I mean, when you look at some of these players, like we've obviously got a Rashford coming in at 3.8 mil. You've then got the Mbappe 93, Guy Carez, De Bruyne, even Elise looks really decent, to be fair to him. Then, obviously, you've got the likes of Saka. You've got the icons coming in, a bit of John Barnes, Zidane, Hullet with his cam card, Jarzinho. So SBCs are always on that question. Apparently it's 1.3 mil. That was quick update as well. And then not only that, we have got Cruyff coming out, and that should be within the next hour. So that's going to be a huge one in itself. This one could be decent depending on how many true upgrades we get. Now, we've already had a solid amount already, like we already got a good starting base to this, and if you are doing any of these SBCs, the major advice is you just can't afford to be doing the base icons. If you are trying to do it for either as limited coins as possible or as no coins as possible. So you won't be able to do the base icon upgrades, the hero picks, for the next month, really, unless you get them done early, then naturally, of course. So that's kind of going to be a big thing anyway, because I do find I am the same. I will love to do a max 90 base icon at least once, and by that point you're giving up an 85, an 86, an 87, and an 88, and realistically that could be, for instance, for Saka, half of his SBC done already. For Vinny, it takes off a big chunk. If you take out one of them 88s, there's only 3 left. Take out an 87, there's only 5 left. But that is kind of the big thing when it comes to the gamble SBCs, unless it's like an 83, 84 squad where it doesn't really affect Vinny that much. And that's the same for Saka, that realistically, I'm looking at 85s and 284s as the only lowest I can go. Everything else is then 285s and then the rest 86 for the next SBCs. Then it's 286, 87s, and obviously higher rated fodder if I can. So 83s, 84s are pretty much fair game. And predominantly when we look at these upgrades, I know I've done most of them, but the 82 times 14 was an 83 squad. We've got an 84 double combo. So this is going to be earn a pack containing 5 gold players, 2 guaranteed 84 and 3 75. That's going to be an 84 rated squad. Now, obviously with that is, you can give up that and still not have touched what you need for Vinny. So the chances of getting something good is hopefully quite high in it. So I do think when looking at Vinny straight on the value side of stuff, he's going to be fantastic. Now, would I do him straight away? I think I will get my fodder in line and make sure that it's at least on the point that I could potentially have a chance of doing Vinny. But what I would suggest is definitely wait till at the minimum 6, and maybe even by Sunday. There is going to be a lot of players, a lot of SBCs out, so trying to do him straight away today is going to be a little bit more tricky. Now, alongside all of these upgrades as well, we have got the lovely, the Mode Mastery swaps. Massive, absolutely massive. I'm waiting for my first Thunderstruck, to be honest. We do get a walkout. It's going to be Summer? No, Kobel. We take Coble, 87's perfect for Vinny. Obviously, oh, it's 88 in fact. And I don't know why I thought Gomez said 87. I was like, hold on, he's new. But in terms of that, that's another huge aspect to this game that we've not seen yet. So it will be interesting to see as we do get into Friday, into the 6 p.m, where we stand with that. Because realistically, if we was to only want to do Vinny, we don't want to do Saka, we don't want to do Cruyff, you have got potentially, depending on how many tokens, if you've got 20, you've got an 83 times 30 twice, so 83 times 60, you have an 85 times 20, and an 85 times 30. That's going to complete a lot of at least one of them big SBCs. If that's Vinny, that pretty much does most of it. Now the question will be is, when can you get these? Because these are obviously expiring 36 days. Normally they don't leave you too long after. Maybe it's like 5 days after you get, but that's kind of where you're at with their mode masteries. So we will see that at Friday at 6 p.m. to see what kind of happens, what's going on. But that's always an interesting fact to know that that's going to be there for a big SBC if you don't want the player as well. If you obviously want to get Rodrigo and Vinny together, then you've kind of got to go back to the upgrades. You've got to be grinding out the challenges, finishing off all of these if you can. There is plenty to be doing. Then obviously the upgrades, I would be suggesting the 80 player pick. We get free every hour for the next 3 days. If it does continue like that, absolutely do them because they are fantastic value. They're very, very easy. And to be honest, I just think they are worth doing at the minimum. I probably wouldn't even be bothering with League SBCs until we have got the kind of fully Flash SBCs gone. And I think we normally get them for today, and then a little bit of tomorrow, and then obviously it goes on to Monday. We normally get a Cyber Monday, but that I don't think was a big thing last year, so it might not be the same this year. They might not do too much for it, but I would definitely be suggesting to try and do as many of these upgrades as possible. Getting the 83s might be a little bit tricky over time, but with all of these 80 plus guarantees, a lot of the gold upgrades, we have the double 81s that are there as well. They should be relatively simple to grind out a little bit. Plus then you've got the champs rewards, you've got squad battle rewards coming. It's not meant to be being able to finish Vinny in a day. Like if you're finishing Vinny in a day, the likely chance of you spending coins is going to be very, very high, because I don't know anybody that could get all of that fodder either in their club to go straight away, or be able to get all of that fodder in 1 day of upgrades. It's virtually impossible, like, unless you are literally spending actual money on the game. It's very, very unlikely. I really don't want to do the reveals on all of these, but I feel like it's probably quicker doing it. So we're going to pick Pickford. But realistically, I would suggest if you're trying to do Vinny, doing all your upgrades. If you need to throw in a bit of League SBC, then obviously that's going to be the way for you. I would suggest trying to kind of do all the upgrades naturally and try and get through like the 82 times 14, trying to get your champs done and all of that to be able to then do the swaps, as the swaps is going to be potentially a much quicker way in the long run. Like it's going to be the quickest and easiest way to do it for very little coins indeed. Plus then you do get potential upgrades from the champs mastery cards that you can get. There is potentials of 90s in there that maybe you don't want to go into getting Nkunku or one of them players or Rapsodori, but could go into this upgrade as well, could go into Vinny. So there is going to be plenty to do. We've got 4 of the 84 combos. Doesn't mean you have to do absolutely every single one, but I'd definitely be having a look at a minimum to see if it's actually worth doing the upgrade. We still got an 88 and an 85 out the first one. It's going to be decent fodder to get round. Obviously you've got the 81 combo. I personally would go with the 81 double in my opinion. I think that's going to be a much better one. I know that it is a lot of rares, so again that's going to be the interesting factor of how many rares do you truly have, because it's not going to be easy to do loads of them. It's going to be easy to do a few and maybe do a lot of your SBCs straight away, but when it comes to doing the whole bulk of like 50, 40 of them, you're going to run out of rares pretty quickly, and that is kind of what they want, so that you do go into doing more and more of them upgrades. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. So I haven't actually even really tried these yet. I do prefer the player picks, which that's why I personally like doing the 80 plus player picks if I can, and you can do them every single hour regardless. So let me know down below how you're getting on with Vinny. I'm still yet to find my first Thunderstruck card, but we will get it hopefully in the near future. We get an 83 from that, and they'll just go into the duplicate storage. And maybe, who knows, we get potential exchanges at some point. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.